America is not one housing market. It is thousands of local stories stitched together by highways and hopes. Since 2010, those stories have split. Some places added people and pressure. Other places lost people quietly street by street. Tonight we turn down the noise and turn up the numbers. We will follow population and jobs. We will track who moved in, who moved out, and what happened to homes left behind. We will not speak in slogans. We will speak in trends you can verify and in choices you can act on. This documentary is built on an economic lens, a social lens, and a housing lens. We look at what people earn where they work and how secure those paychecks feel. We look at who is aging, who is leaving, and who is arriving. We look at what is being built, what is crumbling, and what sits empty. Our time window is 2010 to 2025. That 15-year line covers the shale boom, the long post-crisis recovery, the pandemic shock, the remote work experiment, and the rebalancing that followed. One caution before we begin. A state is not a single neighborhood. Within every map, you will find pockets of resilience next to pockets of decline. You will hear me say this again and again. The averages point one way. The block you choose can still point another. Keep that idea in your front pocket as we travel. Method. Our framework is simple. We will score each state on 3 families of indicators, and then tell you what those indicators mean on the ground for households and for housing. Economic signals. Total jobs since 2010. Mix of industries and how cyclical they are. Wage growth versus inflation. New business formation. Commuting patterns that survived or vanished after 2020. Social signals. Net domestic migration. International inflows. Age structure and median age drift. Education pipeline and retention of young adults. Crime perception versus crime data. Health and life expectancy trends. Housing signals. Housing permits per 1,000 residents. Single family versus multifamily mix. Vacancy and the difference between healthy vacancy and abandonment. Price and rent paths through the cycle. Insurance and utility burdens that turn a cheap house into an expensive place to live. We are not here to cheer or to shame. We are here to understand. The more honest the picture, the smarter the decision. Big picture 2010 to 2025. From 2010 to 2019, the United States added population, but unevenly. Fast-growing metros in the South and Mountain West attracted workers. Several industrial and rural belts lost residents as younger people chased jobs, and older people aged in place. In 2020, the pandemic jolted the map. Big city cores softened while smaller metros and suburbs took a breath. Remote work allowed some households to try new places. By 2023 and 2024, job markets cooled from red hot to steady. Mortgage rates rose, then drifted lower from the peaks. Rent growth decelerated. A new pattern set in. Some coastal and superstar metros stabilized, but prices stayed high. Interior value metros held their ground. A group of underpopulated states continued to thin out in select counties, even as a few of their metros stabilized. Now we focus on 9 states where underpopulation is either structural low density and sparse settlement or dynamic loss of residents in key counties. We will keep the story balanced. Every state gets its realities and its bright spots. You will also hear what the numbers mean for renters, buyers, and local leaders. Part 1. West Virginia. Economic lens. West Virginia's labor market from 2010 onward was shaped by energy and extraction. Coal's long decline intersected with the rise of natural gas. Total employment recovered after the Great Recession, then struggled to add durable new engines. Healthcare, education, and public sector roles grew, but did not fully replace private sector losses. In many counties, entrepreneurial formation improved in a few hubs, but remained thin statewide. Social lens. The state's population trended lower, with many counties losing residents year after year. Younger adults left for college or work, then did not return at the same rate. Median age climbed. A share of retirees arrived for scenery and cost, but not enough to reverse the long slide. The geography of departure was uneven. University-anchored pockets and tourism areas held on better than coal country. Housing lens. Housing stock aged while new building stayed modest. Vacancy increased in weaker counties and was not the healthy kind of vacancy that greases mobility. It was the kind that signals disrepair. Prices did not explode the way they did in national hot spots, yet higher insurance and utility costs could still make ownership heavy for low and moderate incomes. Renters had choices, but not always quality choices. Good homes and good school zones held value. Farther out you could see the difference block to block. What it means for households. West Virginia is a story of targeted opportunity. If you anchor yourself near healthcare, education, or tourism corridors, and verify neighborhood-level safety and infrastructure, the cost of housing can be manageable and stable. For leaders, the math is clear. Invest in broadband and skills. Convert tired stock to meet modern energy standards so monthly costs drop. Recruit mid-size employers tied to logistics and outdoor assets. Lean into tourism, but build year-round jobs. Part 2. Illinois. Economic lens. Illinois is a tale of two economies. Chicago's diverse base remains a national engine even with headwinds. Downstate counties tied to manufacturing and agriculture faced slower growth. From 2010 to 2019, the state added pockets of high-wage work, while seeing broader tax and pension debates weigh on sentiment. After 2020, remote work and corporate reshuffling nudged some talent to the suburbs or to other states. Social lens. Net domestic outmigration became a defining theme, especially out of higher tax and slower growth counties. International rivals helped Chicago, but did not fully offset domestic departures. Median age rose gradually. College-educated young adults concentrated in certain neighborhoods while other areas thinned. Housing lens. Chicago's core saw price cycles and rent surges, then cooling. Many downstate markets stayed flat to modest over the decade with small rebounds and long plateaus. New building lagged in weaker counties. Vacant and underused commercial space in smaller downtowns created blight, but also opportunity for adaptive reuse. What it means for households. Illinois still delivers world-class amenities if you can pay for them, and still offers very affordable ownership in many downstate towns if you secure stable work. For leaders, expansion of logistics corridors and advanced manufacturing can re-anchor the map. Tax stability, transparency, and permit speed will matter. Converting obsolete space into workforce housing and mixed use can reverse Main Street decline. Part 3. Mississippi. Economic lens. Long-term growth trailed the national average. Workforce participation was a chronic challenge. Manufacturing and agriculture remained central while healthcare expanded in regional hubs. Wage growth improved in the late cycle, but inflation and insurance costs eroded gains. Social lens. Population stagnation and local decline showed up across rural counties. Younger residents left for the Gulf Coast, other southern metros, or out of state. Median age rose. Health outcomes weighed on productivity and community budgets. Housing lens. Many counties held low nominal home prices, but that did not always mean cheap living. Older stock plus high utility bills could erase the advantage. Rental markets were thin in choice. New construction concentrated near college towns or medical centers. What it means for households. The playbook is clear. Anchor near stable employers and new infrastructure. Verify energy efficiency and insurance before you sign. For leaders, invest in workforce health, broadband, and credential programs. Pair housing rehab with weatherization to lower monthly costs. Recruit mid-size employers that need reliable land and interstate access. Part for Louisiana. Economic lens. The energy complex, ports and tourism define Louisiana's economy. Since 2010, those pillars carried volatility. Petrochemical investments and logistics projects brought jobs, but commodity cycles and shocks also took them away. Hurricane seasons imposed interruptions and long rebuilds. Social lens. Several parishes experienced net outmigration after major storms. Some recovered with federal aid and private reinvestment. Others struggled. New Orleans maintained a cultural magnet, but wrestled with public safety perception and affordability for service workers. Housing lens. Insurance costs rose notably in coastal and storm-prone areas. That single-line item changed the ownership math for many households. Rental markets in stronger parishes stayed tight during rebuild periods, then loosened with new supply. Aging stock showed weather scars. Elevated building standards improved resilience, but increased upfront costs. What it means? For households, the trade is culture and cuisine and community against weather risk and insurance. Choose elevation and flood maps with care. For leaders, the path runs through resilience, finance tougher codes, smart land use, and workforce housing near jobs. Accelerate permitting for resilient infill. Protect cultural districts while expanding affordable units for service workers. Part 5. Alaska. Economic lens. Alaska's economy is narrow relative to its land size. Energy, fisheries, federal spending, and tourism dominate. From 2010, growth was stop and go with oil price cycles. The state buffered some swings with reserves, but private sector diversification remained a challenge. Social lens. Population growth slowed and then flattened. Many rural communities saw decline while Anchorage and a few hubs stabilized. High cost of goods and long distances shaped daily life. Median age in many communities climbed as outmigration of young adults continued. Housing lens. Construction costs are high due to logistics and climate. Energy-efficient design is essential. Home prices vary widely between urban hubs and remote towns. Rental choice is limited in many locations. Vacancy can be low in hubs yet unhealthy in remote areas where units are not truly market-ready. What it means? For households, Alaska is about intent. If your work ties to energy, healthcare, logistics, or public service, and you prepare for climate costs, you can build a life with access to nature that few places match. For leaders, invest in broadband and trades training. Expand modular and high-efficiency building to slash monthly utility burdens. Support year-round industry clusters to smooth seasonality. Part 6. Wyoming. Economic lens. Like Alaska, Wyoming's engine is concentrated. Energy extraction, agriculture, tourism, and a growing wealth management niche define the mix. The shale cycle brought investment then restraint. Tech and remote professionals moved into select towns. During the pandemic era, pushing local prices higher even as rural counties thin. Social lens. Wyoming has always been sparse. From 2010 to 2025, sparsity remained with county-level divergence. Amenity towns gained wealthier rivals while working towns wrestled with job churn. And housing access for teachers, nurses, and service workers. Housing lens. Low statewide population does not guarantee easy housing. In amenity hubs, prices surged and workers were pushed to long commutes. In quieter counties, low price is met limited choice and older stock. Permitting volumes were small, which made each project important. What it means? For households, your reality depends on the county. If you are heading toward an amenity town, budget as if you were moving to a micro-coastal market. If you are targeting a working town, verify job stability and cost of living beyond the listing price. For leaders, link workforce housing to employer growth, commit land, and streamline approvals. Balance conservation with smart infill. Part 7. Kansas. Economic lens. Agriculture and manufacturing anchor Kansas with logistics. and aviation adding strength in specific metros. From 2010, the state posted steady but modest growth. Rural western counties saw labor force thinning. Wichita and Kansas City corridors carried more of the expansion. Social lens. Net domestic outmigration from rural counties continued across the decade. Median age rose. College towns remained bright spots. Housing lens. Home prices remained moderate by national standards, but construction lagged in weaker counties. Vacant main streets became a familiar scene. In stronger metros, demand outpaced new supply during peak years, then cooled. Rental choice was limited outside major hubs. What it means? For households, Kansas is a value play if your job sits on a stable corridor. For leaders, small-town recovery will require targeted immigration strategies. Main Street redevelopment and cluster recruitment around ag tech and maintenance repair operations. Housing rehabilitation paired with small business grants can shift the trajectory. Part 8. New York. Economic lens. New York is 2 or 3 states inside one border. Downstate remains a global engine. Upstate is a mosaic of university towns, medical hubs, logistics spines, and deindustrialized valleys. From 2010 to 2019, downstate job growth was strong, while many upstate counties lagged. After 2020, remote work cooled the core and revived select suburbs. The longer trend for many upstate counties is slow population loss or stagnation. Social lens. Net domestic outmigration is an old story for New York, balanced partly by international inflows. Post-2020 domestic outflows accelerated for a time, then moderated. Upstate college towns retained some graduates, but many left for lower-cost metros. Housing lens. Downstate experienced extreme price and rent cycles, then a rebalancing. Upstate carried long periods of flat prices, then rapid catch-up in select towns. During the housing scramble, vacancy in some older cities signaled deep maintenance backlogs. Property taxes weighed on ownership budgets. What it means? For households, New York remains full of choice if you align job field and neighborhood. Upstate buyers should focus on energy costs, taxes, and realistic rehab budgets. For leaders, investment in tech transfer and medical corridors can retain graduates. Adaptive reuse of legacy buildings into mixed-income housing is a lever waiting to be pulled. Part 9. California. Economic lens. California remains a giant with tech, entertainment, agriculture, logistics, and research. From 2010 to 2019, coastal hubs surged. After 2020, remote work, volatility, regulation costs, insurance, and housing burdens pushed a share of residents to leave. Inland corridors grew but faced infrastructure strain. Social lens. Net domestic outmigration accelerated after 2020. International inflows steadied some regions. Median age continued to rise slowly. A wealth divide widened. Service workers chased affordable housing farther from job centers. Housing lens. Permitting lagged demand for years. Prices and rents reached levels hard to reconcile, with median wages outside of tech and finance. Insurance costs increased in wildfire zones and along the coast. New construction tilted coastal to infill and inland to large subdivisions. Rent growth cooled in 2023 and 2024, yet levels stayed high. What it means? For households, California can still be the right choice if your income and industry justify the premium. If not, consider inland metros with improving job access or nearby states offering similar weather with lower costs. For leaders, the math is not a mystery. Speed up approvals, diversify housing types, invest in resilience, and coordinate transit with new homes. Cross-cutting patterns. Across these 9 states, 3 patterns repeat. First, the jobs to people loop. Counties that diversified their employer base kept more residents and attracted new ones, even when the headline state number was negative. A new logistics park, a regional hospital expansion, or a wind component plant changed the tone of a whole subregion. Second, the cost stack. A cheap house is not cheap if the roof leaks, the windows whistle, and the insurance premium spikes each renewal. Monthly cost is what matters. Households who measured the whole stack: rent plus utilities plus insurance plus taxes made better decisions. Third, the young adult bridge. Places that kept graduates offered three things at once: starter wage jobs, a social scene that felt alive, and a housing option that fit their first paycheck. Remove any one of those three and the bridge broke. Myths and realities. Myth 1. A state that loses people is broken everywhere. Reality. County and corridor effects dominate. A single university medical and logistics triangle can outgrow a statewide decline. Myth 2. Low prices guarantee a good deal. Reality. Low prices sometimes measure weak demand, old infrastructure, and future bills. Always calculate total monthly housing cost. Do not stop at the listing. Myth 3. If people are leaving, there must be endless vacancies to choose from. Reality. Healthy vacancy can be scarce even in shrinking counties because aging stock is not truly rentable or livable without major work. The household playbook. Step 1. Define your guardrail. 30% of income to housing is a ceiling, not a goal. If you carry debt, drop to 25 to 28%. Step to price the whole cost. Ask for 12-month utility averages. Get an insurance quote even if you are renting. If numbers are missing, do not guess. Step 3. Map your job circle. 10 to 30-minute commutes save time and money. If the only option is an hour plus, think again. Step 4. Look for concessions. The 2023 and 2024 cooling in rents did not vanish. Many owners still offer free weeks or reduced fees to fill units. Step 5. Scout by day and by night. Talk to neighbors. Visit a library branch. Test a grocery run. Verify cell coverage. Daily life is the truth test. The local leader's checklist. Create a clear by right path for duplexes, triplexes, and small walk-ups and service job corridors, so workers can live near shifts. Pair housing rehab with energy upgrades to slash utility burdens. Convert obsolete commercial blocks to mixed-income housing with ground floor services. Recruit mid-size employers that match local skills and land supply. Train residents for those roles. Market your story honestly. People do not need perfection. They need a plan they can trust. State-by-state takeaways. West Virginia: build resilience around education, healthcare, outdoor assets, and energy-efficient rehab. Illinois: narrow the gap between booming corridors and left-behind towns through adaptive reuse and a clean permitting lane. Mississippi: pair workforce health with weatherization and skills training to lift participation. Louisiana: ensure smarter, build higher, zone wiser, and add workforce housing near cultural cores. Alaska: reduce the cost of isolation with broadband, modular, high-efficiency building, and year-round industry clusters. Wyoming: balance conservation and growth and lock workforce housing to employer expansion. Kansas: revive main streets through targeted immigration, ag tech clusters, and conversion of vacant space. New York: expand tech transfer upstate and normalize taxes and rehab budgets to turn legacy stock into living neighborhoods. California: add supply, diversify types, speed approvals, and match transit to homes, while de-risking wildfire and insurance burdens. What the data says about housing in underpopulated states. From 2010 to 2015, many of these states experienced slow recovery with low building volumes. 2016 to 2019 brought cyclical improvements, but not evenly. 2020 to 2022 scrambled the deck. In 2023 and 2020 for construction costs stayed high, and mortgage rates reset how buyers and small developers thought about risk. By 2025, rents cooled in many metros and concessions returned. The biggest opportunities live where fundamentals are cheap enough to try and strong enough to last. Voices from the ground. In every state we visited, we met the same two people. The first is a nurse, a teacher, a technician, or a line supervisor who wants a stable commute and a home that will not surprise them. The second is a mayor, a county commissioner, or a chamber lead who wants a main street that feels alive again. Good policy meets in the middle. Give the worker a home near the job. Give the town the tools to reuse what it already built. Do those two things and population loss slows. Do them well and you are growing again before the next census count. To simple calculations. Calculation 1. The honest monthly number. Rent or mortgage plus utilities plus insurance plus taxes plus transport. If you take nothing else from this film, take that formula. It does not lie. Calculation to the time budget. Commute minutes add up. A 20-minute commute one way is 100 minutes a week. A 50-minute commute is 500. That gap is a class you can take, a small business, you can start a language, you can learn a child's bedtime, you can be home for. Final advice for households. If you are considering a move inside one of these 9 states, do 3 visits. First visit during daylight, second visit at night, third visit on a weekday at rush hour. On your third visit, take your total housing number and ask yourself if you can live this life for 5 years without fear. If yes, move. If no, keep looking. The right block is still out there. Final advice for investors and builders. Build where the job anchors are adding shifts. Design for energy thrift. Price honestly. If you need a tax abatement to make a pro forma pencil, make sure the community gets something back that it can see and use. The era of speculation without purpose is over in these places. The winners will be patient. Outro. America is noisy about housing. It always will be. But you do not have to live by the noise. You can live by the numbers and buy your own map. Since 2010, some states have thinned out. That is true. It is also true that inside each one there are streets and schools and small businesses that still work and want you to join them. In this film, we drew a clean line from the data to the doorstep. 9 underpopulated states, 15 years of change, 1 practical playbook. Choose with your eyes open. Choose with your full monthly number on the page. Choose a commute that lets you arrive as yourself. If you do that, the place you pick will do the rest. It will give you neighbors. It will give you a routine. It will give you a life that fits.